Welcome to the MFS Wellness Podcast, a hybrid structure encompassing health, fitness, self-improvement, and entertainment, where no topic is off limits and all opinions are graciously welcomed.
Let's get on with the show!
And now, here's the host of the show, Mike Sinopoli.
This is the MFS Wellness Podcast. I am Mike Sinopoli, and we have reached the end of 2024, which means we are at the resolution part of the year where, you know, we come up with something and we feel as if the calendar flip is going to change some things. And as we've said before, the calendar flip doesn't do anything if you don't do anything. So we want to put that out there. And what I'm going to focus on here is going to a gym or working out, trying to start a training routine, because it's very typical. It's a very typical New Year's resolution. I'm not against it. Just don't hold yourself too hard to the new year for it. Meaning, if you do seem to, I don't want to say fail, but like fall off the track a little bit, or you don't feel like you're perfect, that's okay. Get back on and do it, because if you have 6 or 7 consistent days of what you're supposed to do, but then the 8th day you have an issue, or feel like you did, you probably didn't screw up. And the best thing to do is just get right back on track and just forget it and laugh it off, because so many times we feel like we've failed and we actually haven't, but we actually fail because we believe we failed and we react to it and kind of just spiral down from there. So what I'm going to do on this episode, I want to try to help people from my own failures in the past, the failures of others, of clients I've seen before, and just the general public. And this is going to be dedicated to strictly fitness and going to a gym, working out, whether it's resistance to start or why it ends and you'd stop going. So first, I want to put it out there. Like, I know there's a stigma around lifting weights and getting strong and fit and building muscle that is a narcissistic feel to it to some. It's a vanity feel, and that's true in some cases. Some people, it depends on that person. But biologically and statistically and realistically, it's a very healthy aspect of life to build muscle strength, mobility. It's something to keep you going forever, so you don't have this shit quality of life later. There's no guarantees. Obviously, you can get injured in other ways, that you can get sick in other ways, but this is scientifically proven for years upon years to go ahead and help longevity of life and quality of life, lifting weights X amount of time per week. And I'll get into all of that here. So the way I'm going to break this one down here, first is I used AI to kind of give me a top 10 sort of list of why people quit the gym or don't go at all. So I'll run through those, and then I use my own brain, believe it or not, that does work sometimes, to come up with 5 ways to stick to training. Some of them are, my own thoughts, but I'm sure they exist somewhere else. So don't quote me as saying I came up with this as my ideas. But what I want from this episode is for anyone out there who has struggled with sticking to a workout routine, a gym membership, and has fallen off, and maybe you're trying for the first time this New Year's, or you're trying for the 18th time, who knows, who cares? This is now just moving forward. Forget the new year, forget the past, or if you haven't learned from it, just go forward. So moving on here, like I said, I generated an AI reasoning basically for why people quit the gym or don't get started at all. And number one here is, and again, these are in no particular order, this is just the order they're in, lack of time. And that is something that, they feel like there aren't enough hours in a day to fit out workouts consistently. In some cases, this is, it's true. In your current state, in your current life, you might actually not have the time. However, there is a possibility to make the time. And I will say right now, as a divorced dad of 2 girls who are off school, and I'm off my day job right now, so we're just sitting here. I mean, I'd love to go to the gym right now, but I don't know what to do with my kids. So I have to go ahead and I could say, I don't have time today, or, whatever, because I really don't. But what I could do is get another gym membership and go ahead and get a daycare set up so that I can go and do that. And I've done that in the past, and I'm thinking about doing it again. I'm going to see how the year plays out. But anyways, lack of time. Okay. Again, I'm not going to solve all of these right now because they're all on an individual basis. I'll be here forever, rambling. So lack of time is real. It's tough. It's never been tougher in my opinion, based on our our society right now, and time equals money in some cases, and people need to work 2 jobs based on the inflation and the interest rates and all kinds of other shit that's just sinking them. So I get it, but again, that doesn't matter. That your body's not gonna care that you didn't have time. It's gonna do what it's gonna do anyways, and it's gonna suck later. So you got to figure that out now. The time, figure it out. It's not a victim thing. It's just reality, and we got to get through it. Some people are going to make it a priority. Some aren't. Okay, another one is not seeing results fast enough. Discouragement from not noticing immediate changes in the physique, leading to frustration. That's one you have to just realize you're in this for the long haul. This is a lifelong process. You're not going to fix 20 years of neglect, 10 years, 20 years of neglect to your body in 30 days. It's not going to happen that way. It's just impossible. And if you are doing something where the results are coming too fast, it very well could be extreme. So you don't want fast results. Anything promising fast results is probably trying to just take money out of your pocket and create a dependency upon whatever the program or product is. So just kind of go ahead and say, hey, you know what? I'm going to go through this. There's a whole process to this about building a foundation, learning the form of lifting, fixing your diet, your brain, your mindset, your habits, everything, your scheduling, everything could need to change. And that's not to scare you or push it away, but this is reality of it. Another reason here says poor form causing injury, which is, very, very true, because if you start up and you go too hard too fast, or you haven't taken the time to go ahead and properly learn how to squat, deadlift, press, or row, or any of that stuff, and you hurt yourself, you're going to be afraid to go back into that gym because you hurt yourself. And that's, fear, time, money. Those are all the major reasons why people stop or never go into a gym. So take time, learn the form. Even if your first 30 days, like make that your New Year's resolution, forget the mirror, forget the scale, study, take on a trainer or study some form. If you don't have the money for the trainer, go on YouTube or talk to me. There are plenty of people out there and videos that can show you how to properly do a movement so you don't hurt yourself and that you do it correctly. So you're stimulating the right muscles for the results that you'd like to see. So definitely, that's a huge one that gets overlooked often. There's gym intimidation, just straight up feeling self-conscious or uncomfortable in a gym, surrounded by other people who appear more experienced than you, and that's fear of being judged. I did a whole episode I called Gym Intimidation a while back, a couple of years ago. If you ever want me to send that over to you, we can revisit that one. But yeah, honestly, I'll just kind of recap what I said in that whole episode is that most people don't give a shit about what you're doing. Most people aren't judging you. Most people are looking at themselves, focusing upon themselves, whether that's in a productive or narcissistic way. That's just what they're doing in there. And if anyone is going to shame you or shit on you in the gym and make you feel bad about yourself, well, that's a reflection on them. And that's a reflection on them having some sort of insecurity that they're not addressing, some sort of just ego problem, and then you could just forget them and just laugh them off and don't care and keep going, because if you quit on account of them, they win and they didn't learn shit and you are back to where you're going to be in a worse position. Lack of motivation is another one. Motivation comes and goes, as we've talked about. Motivation is here and there, so you can't really rely upon it. You need to find purpose and inspiration to keep going. Motivation will come and go and laugh off and leave, and you can't rely upon it. Take it in as it comes and let it motivate you in the moment, but it won't motivate you forever. Motivation itself. So you have to just not really worry about waiting around to get motivated or find a reason to get motivated. What you need to find is a good solid purpose that's going to keep you going no matter what. Another one is unrealistic goals. That's a big one for people. They're right now, you might be sitting around, and I've been here before, overstuffed, bloated, not feeling well, maybe feeling foggy and hazy. This time of year, especially the last 2 weeks of the year with Christmas Eve, New Year's, and all that, you tend to drink a little bit more alcohol potentially if that's something you indulge in. You're eating higher calorie foods. You might be a little more idle. So you're maybe not be feeling your best. So when you're not feeling your best, that's kind of when you're like, okay, I'm sick of all this food. Blah, I don't even want to eat another cookie, or I don't want to eat another bowl of pasta, or whatever the hell it is. I just want to eat clean, super clean, and go to the gym 6-7 days a week and just become this bodybuilder. You can't, that's like an unrealistic goal. Like realistically, you just want to get yourself somewhere where it's not going to be too much too fast. There's nothing wrong, despite what hustle culture or beast mode people will tell you, there's nothing wrong with small changes over a period of time. Actually, I think that's the best way to go because those are the most realistic ways to do it. Give yourself some leniency, focus on what needs to get done first, and then let everything else fall into place. Another one here says boredom with routine. I don't really care about this one at all because, some of the most important and effective lifts are repetitive: squats, deadlifts, overhead press, chest presses, and rows. Like those should be incorporated in just about every routine over and over again. I cringe a little bit when I see these places that have 25, 30 different movements and it switches every other way. So it's one thing to learn new movements and understand them. So you have a better variety in the gym if something's taken up. I get that, but ultimately you're going to be doing the same movements over and over again if it's if it's effective. And if not, you need to find, if you're bored and you're not into it, you have to check why you're not into it. You have to maybe find something that you can look forward to while you're maybe it's a new playlist, a podcast, something to listen to. You can listen to me, maybe that'll help. Maybe you can listen to me, all my podcasts, all of them, maybe twice. That'll help you with your boredom. Let me know. But anyways, just so you know, that's me being an idiot. I'm not really that egotistical. So anyways, but find something, you should just be able to get in there eventually and not worry about being bored. I mean, increasing your weight, doing an extra rep, doing an extra set, hitting a PR, a personal record, that should all be exciting. Let that be exciting to you. And fuck what everybody else thinks. Social pressure is another one, being judged by friends or family for lifting habits. I've been there, where people kind of give you this, I don't know, this oh, hey, you're better. They almost feel like you think you're better because you have a fit lifestyle or you're a gym person or whatever. They want to shame you a little bit because they feel insecure with themselves. Again, similar to the jag off in the gym. These are the people you need to ignore. There's a lot of people you need to ignore when you're going to go do something for yourself. Okay. A lot. So anyways, especially if they're being negative, and even if they're being positive, you can't rely on them for all the motivation. You need to do it yourself. All the inspiration, it all comes from within. Whether they're shaming you or inspiring and helping and motivating you, I mean, it is what it is. Take whatever motivation and inspiration you can from all this external, but don't let it rattle you, and filter it out as needed. The cost of a gym membership, again, this one is tough because of the way the world is with money right now, and how everything is very expensive, and we need to start cutting costs in different places strictly due to the amount that we're getting taxed by our shitty government and the high interest rates on certain purchases. So all of this does play a role, but keep in mind to weigh it out. Okay. If a gym membership is $20 and you have Disney Plus and Hulu for $20, all right, think about but you're saying, oh, money, I got to pick one. Pick the gym membership, please, because you're probably going to, be better off with that. And the time, you're going to piss away a lot of time and money and at the idleness of it all. With the gym membership is just going to be a better overall investment in yourself versus watching TV and sitting there idle. You're tripling down when you think about it. If you go ahead and keep Hulu and Disney Plus and you don't go to the gym, so you're triple negative on that side because you're spending money, you are not lifting, you're more idle, and you're pissing away time. So you're pissing it all away. Time, money, and movement. You're pissing it all away by sitting there. Now, I'm not saying don't have Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, any of that stuff. That's fine. But get that in, get the gym in there. If you have enough money for all of it and time, then do it all. Who cares? If you go to the gym and you got a good workout in, you're active enough, and at the end of the day, you want to sit down and blob Netflix for an hour and a half, 2 hours, who cares? I see that. I do that. Who gives a shit? It's not like cancel it all. I mean, you're just balance it out and figure it out. If you enjoy watching certain shows, and that's great. It's a nice little escape sometimes. So, but as long as you've gotten the rest of it taken care of, that's my opinion. And then lastly is life stress, external stressors, work, family, health issues, taking priority over exercise. Honestly, that's a two-edged sword. I've been in some positions where I was so stressed out that I actually couldn't get a good workout in. It was pretty demoralizing, to be honest with you. So that happens, but you can't let that succumb to take you over, because you're actually going to end up in a worse place by being so idle and sitting in your own thoughts. So ironically, starting to prioritize exercise actually will help the life stress more than hurt it. So you just have to overcome that. It's just a big mental hurdle to overcome. It's not easy to do, but you're going to be very happy, I believe, when you do it. I have been there. And it is hard. So, a lot of this is not easy, or not. I'm not a drill sergeant here telling you to go get the fuck up and do this. I get it. A lot of it's hard, but it can be done. Trial and error. There's nothing wrong with it. Try it. If it doesn't work, try something different. Never stop. Never stop trying. There's no failure until there's no effort. Bottom line. So those are the reasons. And I'm sure, if not all of them, some of them, at least one of them have come into your life and has sort of hindered your progress in where you want to be. But you probably overcome it, or maybe you're still needing to overcome it. So if you are still needing to overcome those, I have come up with 5 ways to stick to your training routine. Again, these might be somewhere else out there. I didn't look anything up. I just put them through my head, and I said, hey, it's probably me just knowing what's up. So here we go. 5 ways to stick to training. First one, set a flex day, an optional day. All right. So what that means is, see how many days you've got available to train. Say you say, I got 4 days. I got 4 days I can train. Okay. Well, let's make a schedule for you for 3. Let's do a 3-day workout for you and set a flex day as an optional day. And what that day is going to be, if you missed a day, you can just use the optional day to do it. Therefore, it's kind of like a backup. So you don't feel like you failed, and you don't necessarily feel like, hey, I got to restart or anything like that. You just say, oh shit. Okay. I'm doing Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but Saturday's my flex day. And then, and get to it. Just say you go Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We'll even come up with a comparable flex day that you can go to the gym. Maybe you do hit the 4th day, but we'll make it so that, whatever your Friday is, or whatever it's maybe an isolation day or a mobility day or something like that, so that you can go to the gym and you can get something done and make some progress. Potentially not even a bad idea for the flex day is to save that day for light weights on movements you're not comfortable doing. There's no problem going to the gym. Say you suck at, for me, it was walking lunges. So I would try to do walking lunges, but for some reason on one side of my body, I had shit balance, and I would just really have to think about how I step forward on the walking lunge. But one side was fine. So I took some time, and I went ahead and started, instead of avoiding the walking lunge, I started doing them with no weight. And then I started doing them with light weights. And now I've improved, still not perfect, but I've improved the balance on my right side immensely, to where I feel like it's a very even on both sides now to do this. So and walking lunges is a great lower body workout. And that goes for any workout, any lift maybe you dislike, but you should probably give it a shot and do it. That's a great another way to use the flex day. So keep it keep it flexible. That's it, because then it'll keep you going longer. Number 2, don't confine yourself to a week-by-week schedule. Again, I just did say, like, hey, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, that's fine. And a lot of times that's the way it is. But if you kind of think about it as forget the time structure of a week, all right? Because maybe that doesn't lend itself to your life. So what you would do is set like a day A, B, C, and D, okay? And then you just kind of roll through that and just try to never let 2 days go by without doing a gym session if you can. That's kind of it. So like, for instance, instead of saying, hey, Monday is my back and biceps day, day A is my back and biceps day. Therefore, if Monday comes around and shit hits the fan and your kid gets sick, or you are sick, or something happens where you can't go, work becomes in the way or something like that, you can go do that day on Tuesday, and maybe that day is more free for you and you still get it done. And then you would just roll it on and just go on to day B next. Take a rest day if it needs it, or just do it the next day or whenever it fits. All you have to do for this is just assure that you're giving yourself the proper amount of rest in between each lifting day, and not letting too much time kind of pass in between, so that you're getting enough frequency on all your muscle groups. So you'll have to stay a little aware of, hey, oh shit, it's been a week since I've done legs because I kept pushing it back. So maybe you have to adjust something. And that's one of the best ways to go, is just to don't confine yourself even to the workout. Sometimes it needs to be adjusted on the fly. I've had days where I got to the gym and it was leg day, and leg day is tiring. It's taxing for me. It's the hardest day. And it is for most people. That's why skipping leg day is such a big deal, especially for men. But I don't do it. I don't skip it. But, there's been times where my energy sucks, and I get to the gym, I still go, and I either try it out or I don't, and I will flip it. Maybe I'll do like a isolation arms day, and then the next day or so I'll do the legs when I have better energy. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. So keep that in mind too before you confine yourself. Find the ideal gym environment for yourself, the training environment. Maybe it's a gym, maybe it's at home, maybe it's a group training, maybe you need a partner, maybe you need to work with a trainer. Find the right environment for yourself. Okay, there's no right or wrong. In some cases, yes, a home workout is going to limit your progress strictly because you don't have the equipment or the weight available to progress the way you think you will. Again, that can go back to those unrealistic expectations. If you want to look like a fit bikini model, but all you've got at home are a couple resistance bands and 2 pink 8-pound weights, I'm sorry, but there's a good chance that you're not going to look the way you think you're going to look. So that's just real. So you either have to come to terms with that, or you have to buy more equipment, or sign up for the gym and change what you believe. So find your ideal environment and work to make that the most effective way to go. Number 4 is this one's iffy, but do movements that you like. Like, for instance, if you don't like doing something, you might be more prone to not do that workout session, or you won't be motivated to wake up and do it, or do it after work, or whatever it is. You might be less motivated. But like we said before, certain movements are super effective, like squats, deadlifts, and presses, and things like that are hard. So work on it. That's all you can do. But in the meantime, do stuff that you enjoy to do. If you want to get steps and cardio in, do it outside. If you hate treadmills, there's no right or wrong. So find what you like to do and do most of that. Lastly, keep your initial purpose mentally active, because if you remember why you start, basically, but first you got to find a realistic reason. Like if you just are sitting there just not feeling good on December 31st and say, well, I'm going to lose 20 pounds. That's really not a great goal, because what purpose is behind the 20 pounds? Why 20 pounds? Where did you get the number from? There's nothing backing that up. It's just an empty goal set out there for the heck of it that has something, because you can use a scale to sort of track it. But, you need to have a deeper purpose. It's for your kids. It's for longevity. It's to feel good. It's quality of life when you get older. It's to just to overcome this society that has a system in place of fat, broke, dumb, debt, sick pill popping. Like, it's disgusting. So almost for me, I'm not gonna lie, I have a little bit of a chip on my shoulder over how society thinks we should live. Like, they want to put a pill in our body and a drug in our body at every little turn, and then those pills turn into more pills. And what does that do? Oh, I don't know. That just loads the pockets of the big pharma, and the food corporations also. They're involved in that and keeping you eating. There's literally drugs out on the shelf, low satiety, fucking processed, ultra hyper palatable bullshit that just comes in a big shiny packaging that says, "Oh, that looks delicious." Just keeps you eating. It doesn't fill you up. So keep your purpose and make it something that will stay forever, and keep it in your mind. If you have to pin it up on your wall in your room, do it. It doesn't matter. If mine are just, I have so many of them. Mine don't matter to you because they're mine. Like, you have yours. There's no reason, and no one can tell you. Like, you can hear people and say, wow, that is a good idea. That's a good reason. But you have to really feel it. You actually have to feel that inside of you. And why I said this was keep it mentally active, which means in your brain, but you really have to keep it emotionally active, because we react and respond to emotions more than we do anything logic. And that's really where that's gonna go. Like, logically, we all know what to do. We all know what we should be doing logically, but we have to have a feel inside of something, a passion, they say. I guess I'm a little sick of that word, but we have to have a purpose. I use purpose, inspiration, something to keep this thing going and keep this thing forever. And that's a scary word for most people. As you know, a lot of different like fitness or health programs don't like to use the word forever. They like to use the word 90 day or 30 day or money back guarantee or any of that bullshit. If they're selling that, fuck it. That's just cut it all away. Get rid of it. I don't care. Get rid of it. It's garbage. So just remember, it's for you and it's your process and it's your purpose. All you have to do is keep it inside of you and keep it burning. So you keep going and never stop. Make it part of your identity, what you're going to do. Stop, don't wait. If you're waiting for it to end, if you're starting something at the new year and waiting for it to end, then you're not doing what's going to be lifelong purpose. You're going to go back to your old habits. There's unlearning that needs to be done more than there needs learning. Again, I can keep going with that. I have an honorable mention to this too. One thing that really also helps me, it's not necessarily like a food reward, but like I like to have a post-workout meal that I really like. It's got to obviously be effective and not shit. But a big steak, a potato, and a bunch of like air fried broccoli with some ranch on it, that does it for me. And that's very acceptable to have. I like that. Even pasta with lean ground beef is another one I go to after working out. It's good. And it's doable as long as you're tracking correctly and knows your portion sizes and all that good stuff. So that can be done. Again, that's it here for the new year. I just wanted to put that out there. These are some things to kind of, to recap here. So 5 ways to stick to your training. Set that flex day, please. Just give yourself some wiggle room in your training schedule because the failure feeling will hit if you miss a day, and then that causes you to get derailed and quit. It happens all the time. Don't confine yourself week by week. Similar to that, this is all part of flexibility. Set a certain day. That's your next day. Get to it when you can get to it, and just don't let too much time pass in between. Find your ideal environment. If a gym is for you, go to the gym. If you can set up a good thing at home, set it up at home. If you want to be in a group setting, go for it. And whatever works for you until it doesn't, basically. Again, do movements that you like within reason. Of course, if it's just you're taking it easy on yourself, then there's going to be a problem. But find some things that you enjoy to do and hit that. And then lastly, obviously, keep your purpose as active as you can in your body and your mind constantly, and never let that go, and never let it die, because there's everyone is willing to take your time from you. You need to make this time. This is for you. People will suck your time. Your job will suck your time and your life away. I've seen it, and I've seen people die right before. And I don't care if this is fear-based. I don't give a shit because it's true. I've had a boss die right before retirement. Did not take care of certain things in their lives. Not shaming that person, but it's real. A lot of that stems from just idle work, and the more we go ahead and advance technology, the more idle we become, the more important it becomes to go ahead and set time for ourselves to do this against this opposition. And that's what it is. The government, the food corporations, your job, it's an opposition to your health. There are oppositions to your health. They will drain you. They will drain you stress, monetarily, with idleness, with screen time. They will kill you with it. And we haven't even seen the true effects of it all, because in the last 20 years, we have never been more idle, and even more so in the last 5. After the COVID scam, everybody got accustomed to it. I'm not against it. I'm not against technology. I'm not against working from home. I'm for all that. But I'm against not using that as an excuse or as a victim, and then not to do it. You can still do this for yourself. You're not a victim because society changes. You use a victim as an excuse. You can do this, and it gets harder because you have an excuse. And when people have an excuse, they feel this false sense of comfort to not do it. It's not my fault. I don't have time. Everything's too expensive, and work takes up too much time. I can't do it. They almost feel validated by that. And that doesn't matter because your body doesn't give a shit. And you're still going to end up having probably some pretty deep regret. I did an episode before. It's in the archives. If you want to check out the gym intimidation one, check that one out. After that, go ahead, check out the one I did on the 5 regrets of the dying. That was a really eye-opening one. I used some sources on that one, and one of them that came up was not taking better care of myself. That's people on their deathbed and people in older care facilities, things like that. It's one of the biggest regrets. Doesn't feel like it now because, hey, you might be getting up doing things just fine, just carrying on some extra weight. But I'll tell you, that shit changes, and that changes fast. And sometimes it becomes too late. Now you're stuck with certain medications forever, or you're stuck with disabilities forever, or shots you need to put in your body and medications and everything you don't want to be taking. So that's it. So keep it going, start it up, and find a way to not stop. That's the main thing. Don't even worry too much about what you're doing and how you're doing figure out how you're never going to stop. That's it. That's the bottom line. So again, I do this. I'm helping people. I'm always taking in clients. So if you need to get a hold of me to discuss, a workout plan, a training routine, a diet, I do meal plans. I do help with tracking, everything of the sort. It's a slow but full lifestyle change process that I do. So if you have some questions, social media at MFS Wellness. That's either Facebook, Instagram, X, or LinkedIn. And then if you want to email me, Mike at mfswellness.com would be the best. I have a website, mfswellness.com. You can view my history there, some testimonials, some progress photos, a few other things, the options of what I do. I am just like I said about like the flexibility of your gym schedule and your diet. I'm flexible with payments and the different program options. We can just kind of come up with something for you that works, because I don't want you to sit around being stressed and worrying about money, because that was one of the breakdowns that we had here. One of the reasons why people don't do it is monetarily, and I understand that. So I want to work with you so that your payments to me are not something that's like, causing more stress and pressure and turning you away from a very good thing that you've decided to do. So go ahead. Hit me up if you need. Again, 2025 is coming up here in a day or so. Insane how fast it's gone. But hey, let's just keep going. Let's do this every year. Keep trying and don't wait for the new year. If you fail, if you start something in 2025 and you feel like you failed or you've quit or it's gone, there's going to be a dark period where you're just tired and sick of yourself and mad. Contact me. I've been there. I've done it. I felt it, and I know it. So I can help you walk you through it. Ultimately, it will be on you to do it, which is actually a good thing, because when you have the control, you don't need to wait for anybody else or do anything. So, all right, 2025, I have some exciting stuff, we're going to be doing on this. Going to keep trying to grow the podcast. So if you can, share it, subscribe, share it, and all that good stuff that they generically say at the end of these things. I'm going to do more of the dads and daughters podcast with those guys. That's been going pretty well. I've got my pal Nick coming back on, Nick Beck. He's going to do we're going to do a little breakdown on the Make America Healthy Again initiative. We have some interesting thoughts on that and where it'll go. I think that'll be a fun one to do. And who knows, whatever else. And like I say before, if you have an idea for this, send it over. If you want to be on, let me know. Let's figure something out. Let's talk. And we'll go from there. So, hey, everybody, please have a very, very happy and safe New Year's, and we will talk to you in 2025.